Abū Bakr Abdallah ibn Uthman Abī Quḥāfa, romanized, Abū Bakr Abdallah ibn Uthman Abī Quḥāfa, c. 573 to 23rd of August 634, was the senior companion and was, through his daughter Aisha, a father-in-law of the Islamic prophet Muhammad, as well as the first caliph of Islam. He is known with the honorific title al-Siddiq by Sunni Muslims. Abū Bakr was born in 573 CE to Abū Quḥāfa and Kar. He belonged to the tribe of Banu Taym. In the age of ignorance, he was a monotheist and condemned idol worshipping. As a wealthy trader, Abū Bakr used to free slaves. Following his conversion to Islam in 610, Abū Bakr served as a close aide to Muhammad, who bestowed on him the title al-Siddiq, the truthful. The former took part in almost all battles under the Islamic prophet. He extensively contributed his wealth in support of Muhammad's work, and among Muhammad's closest companions, he also accompanied Muhammad on his migration to Medina. By the invitations of Abū Bakr, many prominent Sahabis became Muslims. He remained the closest advisor to Muhammad, being present at almost all his military conflicts. In the absence of Muhammad, Abū Bakr led the prayers and expeditions. Following Muhammad's death in 632, Abū Bakr succeeded the leadership of the Muslim community as the first Rashidun caliph. His election was opposed by a large number of rebellious tribal leaders, who had apostatized from Islam. During his reign, he overcame a number of uprisings, collectively known as the Ridda Wars, as a result of which he was able to consolidate and expand the rule of the Muslim state over the entire Arabian Peninsula. He also commanded the initial incursions into the neighboring Sasanian and Byzantine empires, which in the years following his death, would eventually result in the Muslim conquests of Persia and the Levant. Apart from politics, Abū Bakr is also credited for the compilation of the Quran, of which he had a personal caliphal codex. Abū Bakr nominated his principal advisor Umar, r. 634 to 644, as his successor before dying in August 634. Along with Muhammad, Abū Bakr is buried in the Green Dome at the Al-Masjid an-Nabawi in Medina, the second holiest site in Islam. He died of illness after a reign of 2 years, 2 months and 14 days, the only Rashidun caliph to die of natural causes. Though the period of his caliphate was short, it included successful invasions of the two most powerful empires of the time, a remarkable achievement in its own right. He set in motion a historical trajectory that in a few decades would lead to one of the largest empires in history. His victory over the local rebel Arab forces is a significant part of Islamic history. Abū Bakr is widely honored among Muslims. Abū Bakr's full name was Abdullah ibn Abī Quḥāfa ibn Amir ibn Amr ibn Kab ibn Sa'd ibn Taym ibn Murrah ibn Kab ibn Lu'ay ibn Ghalib ibn Fire. In Arabic, the name Abdallah means servant of Allah. One of his early titles, preceding his conversion to Islam, was Atiq, meaning saved one. Muhammad later restated this title when he said that Abū Bakr is the Atiq. He was called al-Siddiq, the truthful, by Muhammad after he believed him in the event of Isra and Miraj when other people didn't, and Ali confirmed that title several times. He was also reportedly referred to in the Quran as the second of the two in the cave in reference to the event of Hijrah, where with Muhammad he hid in the cave in Jabal Thawr from the Meccan party that was sent after them. Abū Bakr was born in Mecca sometime in 573 CE, to a rich family in the Banu Taym tribe of the Quraysh tribal confederacy. His father's name was Uthman and given the kunya Abū Quḥāfa, and his mother was Salma bint Sakar, who was given the laqab of Care. He spent his early childhood like other Arab children of the time, among the Bedouins who called themselves al-Ibayb, the people of the camel, and developed a particular fondness for camels. In his early years he played with the camel calves and goats, and his love for camels earned him the nickname, kunya, Abū Bakr, the father of the camel's calf. Like other children of the rich Meccan merchant families, Abū Bakr was literate and developed a fondness for poetry. He used to attend the annual fair at Ukaz, and participate in poetical symposia. He had a very good memory and had a good knowledge of the genealogy of the Arab tribes, their stories and their politics. A story is preserved that once when he was a child, his father took him to the Kaaba, and asked him to pray before the idols. His father went away to attend to some other business, and Abū Bakr was left alone. Addressing an idol, Abū Bakr said, "O my God, I am in need of beautiful clothes, bestow them on me." The idol remained indifferent. Then he addressed another idol, saying, "O God, give me some delicious food. See that I am so hungry." The idol remained cold. That exhausted the patience of young Abū Bakr. He lifted a stone, and, addressing an idol, said, "Here I am aiming a stone, if you are a god protect yourself." Abū Bakr hurled the stone at the idol and left the Kaaba. Regardless, it recorded that prior to converting to Islam, Abū Bakr practiced as a Hanaf and never worshipped idols. On his return from a business trip in Yemen, friends informed him that in his absence, Muhammad had declared himself the messenger of God and proclaimed a new religion. The historian al-Tabari, in his Tariq al-Tabari, quotes from Muhammad ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, who said, "I asked my father whether Abū Bakr was the first of the Muslims. He said, 'No, more than 50 people embraced Islam before Abū Bakr, but he was superior to us as a Muslim. And Umar ibn Khattab had embraced Islam after 45 men and 21 women. As for the foremost one in the matter of Islam and faith, it was Ali ibn Abi Talib.'" Some Sunni and all the Shia believe that the second person to publicly accept Muhammad as the messenger of God was Ali ibn Abi Talib, the first being Muhammad's wife Khadija. 16. Ibn Kathir, in his al-Bidayah wal-Nihayah, disregards this. He stated that the first woman to embrace Islam was Khadija. Zayd ibn Haritha was the first freed slave to embrace Islam. Ali ibn Abi Talib was the first child to embrace Islam, for he has not even reached the age of puberty at that time, while Abū Bakr was the first free man to embrace Islam. His wife Qutayla bint Abd al-Azhar did not accept Islam and he divorced her. His other wife, Ruman, became a Muslim. All his children accepted Islam except Abd al-Rahman, from whom Abū Bakr disassociated himself. His conversion also brought many people to Islam. He persuaded his intimate friends to convert, and presented Islam to other friends in such a way that many of them also accepted the faith. Those who converted to Islam at the insistence of Abū Bakr were Uthman ibn Affan, who would become the third caliph, al-Zubair, who played a part in the Muslim conquest of Egypt, Talha ibn Ubaydallah, his cousin and an important companion of the Prophet, Abd al-Rahman ibn Auf, who would remain an important part of the Rashidun Caliphate, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, who played a leading role in the Islamic conquest of Persia, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, who was a commander-in-chief of the Rashidun army in Levant, Abu Salama, he was a foster brother of Prophet Muhammad, Khalid ibn Sa'd, who acted as a general under the Rashidun army in Syria, Abu Hudhayfa ibn al-Mughira. Abū Bakr's acceptance proved to be a milestone in Muhammad's mission. Slavery was common in Mecca, and many slaves accepted Islam. When an ordinary free man accepted Islam, despite opposition, he would enjoy the protection of his tribe. For slaves, however, there was no such protection and they commonly experienced persecution. Abū Bakr felt compassion for slaves, so he purchased 4 men and 4 women, and then freed them, paying 40,000 dinar for their freedom. The men were Bilal ibn Rabah, Abu Fuqaha, Ammar ibn Yasir, Abu Fuhaira. The women were Lubaina, al-Nadiya, Ubayz, Haritha bint al-Mu'amil. Most of the slaves liberated by Abū Bakr were either women or old and frail men. When the father of Abū Bakr asked him why he didn't liberate strong and young slaves, who could be a source of strength for him, Abū Bakr replied that he was freeing the slaves for the sake of God, and not for his own sake. For 3 years after the birth of Islam, Muslims kept their faith private. In 613, according to Islamic tradition, Muhammad was commanded by God to call people to Islam openly. The first public address inviting people to offer allegiance to Muhammad was delivered by Abū Bakr. In a fit of fury, the young men of the Quraysh tribe rushed at Abū Bakr and beat him until he lost consciousness. Following this incident, Abū Bakr's mother converted to Islam. Abū Bakr was persecuted many times by the Quraysh. Though Abū Bakr's beliefs would have been defended by his own clan, it would not be so for the entire Quraysh tribe. In 617, the Quraysh enforced a boycott against the Banu Hashim. Muhammad along with his supporters from Banu Hashim were cut off in a pass away from Mecca. All social relations with the Banu Hashim were cut off and their state was that of imprisonment. Before it many Muslims migrated to Abyssinia, now Ethiopia. Abū Bakr, feeling distressed, set out for Yemen and then to Abyssinia from there. He met a friend of his named Ad-Duna, chief of the Kara tribe, outside Mecca, who invited Abū Bakr to seek his protection against the Quraysh. Abū Bakr went back to Mecca. It was a relief for him, but soon due to the pressure of Quraysh, Abdallah was forced to renounce his protection. Once again the Quraysh were free to persecute Abū Bakr. In 620, Muhammad's uncle and protector, Abu Talib ibn Abd al-Muttalib, and Muhammad's wife Khadija died. Abū Bakr's daughter Aisha was betrothed to Muhammad. However, it was decided that the actual marriage ceremony would be held later. In 620, Abū Bakr was the first person to testify to Muhammad's Isra and Miraj, night journey. In 622, on the invitation of the Muslims of Medina, Muhammad ordered Muslims to migrate to Medina. The migration began in batches. Ali was the last to remain in Mecca, entrusted with responsibility for settling any loans the Muslims had taken out, and famously slept in the bed of Muhammad when the Quraysh, led by Ikrimah, attempted to murder Muhammad as he slept. Meanwhile, Abū Bakr accompanied Muhammad to Medina. Due to the danger posed by the Quraysh, they did not take the road, but moved in the opposite direction, taking refuge in a cave in Jabal Thawr, some 5 miles south of Mecca. Abdallah ibn Abī Bakr, the son of Abū Bakr, would listen to the plans and discussions of the Quraysh, and at night he would carry the news to the fugitives in the cave. Asma bint Abī Bakr, the daughter of Abū Bakr, brought them meals every day. Amir, a servant of Abū Bakr, would bring a flock of goats to the mouth of the cave every night, where they were milked. The Quraysh sent search parties in all directions. One party came close to the entrance to the cave, but was unable to see them. Due to this, Quranic verse 940 was revealed.
إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا فأنزل الله سكينته عليه وأيده بجنود لم تروها وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى وكلمة الله هي العليا والله عزيز حكيم.
Aisha, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri and Abdallah ibn Abbas in interpreting this verse said that Abū Bakr was the companion who stayed with Muhammad in the cave. After staying at the cave for 3 days and 3 nights, Abū Bakr and Muhammad proceed to Medina, staying for some time at Quba, a suburb of Medina. In Medina, Muhammad decided to construct a mosque. A piece of land was chosen and the price of the land was paid for by Abū Bakr. The Muslims, including Abū Bakr, constructed a mosque named al-Masjid al-Nabawi at the site. Abū Bakr was paired with Kharija bin Zayd Ansari, who was from Medina, as a brother in faith. Abū Bakr's relationship with Kharija was most cordial, which was further strengthened when Abū Bakr married Habiba, a daughter of Kharija. Citation needed. Kharija bin Zayd Ansari lived at Sun, a suburb of Medina, and Abū Bakr also settled there. After Abū Bakr's family arrived in Medina, he bought another house near Muhammad's. While the climate of Mecca was dry, the climate of Medina was damp, and because of this, most of the migrants fell sick on arrival. Abū Bakr contracted a fever for several days, during which time he was attended to by Kharija and his family. In Mecca, Abū Bakr was a wholesale trader in cloth, and he started the same business in Medina. He opened his new store at Soon, and from there cloth was supplied to the market at Medina. Soon his business flourished. Early in 623, Abū Bakr's daughter Aisha, who was already married to Muhammad, was sent on to Muhammad's house after a simple marriage ceremony, further strengthening relations between Abū Bakr and Muhammad. On 23rd of August 634, Abū Bakr fell sick and did not recover. He developed a high fever and was confined to bed. His illness was prolonged, and when his condition worsened, he felt that his end was near. Realizing this, he sent for Ali and requested him to perform his ghusl, since Ali had also done it for Muhammad. Abū Bakr felt that he should nominate his successor so that the issue should not be a cause of dissension among Muslims after his death, though there was already controversy over Ali not having been appointed. He appointed Umar for this role after discussing the matter with some companions. Some of them favored the nomination and others disliked it, due to the tough nature of Umar. Abū Bakr thus dictated his last testament to Uthman ibn Affan as follows. In the name of most merciful God. This is the last will and testament of Abū Bakr bin Abū Quḥāfa, when he is in the last hour of the world, and the first of the next, an hour in which the infidel must believe, the wicked be convinced of their evil ways. I nominate Umar ibn al-Khattab as my successor. Therefore, hear to him and obey him. If he acts right, confirm his actions. My intentions are good, but I cannot see the future results. However, those who do ill shall render themselves liable to severe account hereafter. Fare you well. May you be ever attended by the divine favor of blessing. Umar led the funeral prayer for him, and he was buried beside the grave of Muhammad.